Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. Soaking wet for two reasons. Hot, so sweating, and rain. That'll do it every time. I am on my way to Goodwill again, and I thought I would put the camera on. I am not going to do a ride-along. I don't have the other camera up pointing at the road. I have no desire to edit with the two cameras. I thought I would put this one up, though, in case I feel like chatting along the way. I have no clue what I feel like talking about. I guess I could talk about my podcast a little bit, ASMR a little bit. I don't really want to talk so much about the move right now. I don't know what else, but, you know, just stick around. Maybe I'll be interesting. Chances are good I won't, but maybe you don't care. Right now, I have to back up and go to the other cellar door, because we have two cellar doors, and pick up other things that are waiting to go to Goodwill with me. And then when I get to a place on the road where I'm not like stopping, and having to pay a lot of attention, I will turn the camera on and chat with you guys. I guess I can start talking, and I will keep my eyes on the road, with the exception of a few glances, and I'm going to try to keep my hands on the wheel. When I edited the last time, I noticed that I was like completely taking my hands off so I could talk, and I wasn't even driving with my knee. Okay, I guess I'm going to start with the podcast, because it kind of looks like I dropped the ball on that. I haven't. It's just that I really haven't had the time, and I really want to make the time because it's a distraction from all the other stuff that I'm stressed out about right now. What I did so far is I signed up for Podbean. Signed up? What's the word that I want? Created an account? Whatever. I have a video on that. That was very easy. And it's also easy to do things like change the URL and your name that shows at the top and your image. There's not too many places to click. Always look for like the three dots, and if you click on that, you can go to account or settings or things like that, and you can make changes. Then what I needed to do is cover art, which Derek said needed to be 2,000 pixels square, and I wanted to learn something new, so I used Canva. I have used Canva a few times, but all the thumbnails I create for my YouTube videos are all done with stinky old paint, and it's very limiting. I can't even rotate things, and it's not like text boxes, so when I do something, if I want to change it, I have to just like delete the previous step and do it again. But it works for me. It's what I know, and but I'd like to learn Canva. So I did the most simple cover art for my podcast, Sounds and Whispers ASMR, because that's what I started with, and I think that's what I'm going to be starting with, for a little bit until I get the hang of how the whole podcast thing works. What the hell is going on up there? Why is everybody going to the side of the road? I don't see anything in the road. Then I had to give him a sound recording. I was going to pull something off my ASMR channel, but I didn't want to have to listen to the things. And a lot of the things that are just sound are sounds that are taken from the public domain. I don't want to do that right now for the podcast, because I don't know how I would give the credit or the attributions or, show the licensing for those things to prove that I have the right to use them, because I've not had a podcast uploaded yet, so I just don't know. So I'm going to wait. This is why I want to learn all this shit. So I created a quick, 10-minute ASMR recording. I keep wanting to say video, and it was terrible. I had the gain too high. I forgot the pop filter, is that what it's called? Like, so you don't hear all the and stuff like that. So I had to trash that. And then it took me a couple days to try again, which was last night actually, and I recorded, and it wasn't perfect, but it was a little bit better. I completely forgot how to use Audacity, which is what I used for all the time that I ran that ASMR channel on YouTube. But I just, I don't keep up, and so I forget. I think it's been 2 years since I've done an ASMR video. Well, I've just done a couple recently, but that was using sounds from the public domain or Creative Commons, and it even was hard for me to edit those, but, I'm learning again. I will know everything about that again. I recorded last night, and the only things I didn't care for, the gain sounded right, and I whisper, of course, it's ASMR. My whisper sounded a little throaty here and there. I don't know if others would notice that, but I noticed it. I also have a terrible setup, which was my major complaint about ASMR back in the day. Without recording the video portion, it doesn't matter where I sit, but everything I own squeaks. Every chair I have squeaks. Every table I have squeaks. And I have to deal with that. I also have to unplug the refrigerator, which is a big pain in the ass. It's really hard to unplug it, and it's not hard to move the refrigerator away from the wall, but there's that. And yeah, and then I could hear my neighbor sometimes because it wasn't really late and he was outside, and I had to edit those little parts out, but there are still some parts where I can hear my neighbor a little bit. Other sounds like refrigerators or furnaces kicking on, air conditioners running as long as it's at a distance, those things don't bother me. And sometimes I do videos specifically to hear those sounds and then just, have white noise like that in the background. But it would be nice if I could have a very quiet little space. So hopefully when I move, I will be able to create with Derek's help, because he's good at that. He's got the foam and all that stuff for, drowning out sounds and things. At least he used to. I don't know if he still has that. He'll be good at helping me to, even if it's a closet, that would be perfect actually. And, I would have my own little recording studio for ASMR. Ooh, I like that idea very much. So I sent him the files, the sound file via Dropbox. I had to learn that again. And then the cover art was just an email. That was easy enough. And now he's gonna set me up. Then I'll finally get to see what it looks like inside Podbean on that site, and check the sites that it goes out to. I'm only familiar at all with Spotify, but it goes out to like 5 different sites. I don't know what those things are called, but podcast sites is what I'm going with. I'm at a red light, so I can look at you lovingly. I can take my hands off the wheels. The wheels, but there's only one wheel that my hands are on. Green light. As for my podcast content, like I said, I'm starting with ASMR just so I can figure out how this all works. I really want my ASMR on my YouTube channel, and I can do both. I can. But on my ASMR channel, I like to be on camera, although I can't always, because, sometimes it's just easier to knock out some sound videos without having to sync the sound to the editing, because my editing software for videos is also ancient. I use everything that's dinosaur age, and so it makes it difficult. The good thing about ASMR channels is that if you make some long ASMR, like even an hour, that's long for watch time, people watch and they fall asleep while watching, and you get all that watch time. my ASMR channel, even though I haven't touched it. Well, like I said, I just recently put like 2 things in the past month or so. 2 years it went without anything, a little over 2 years, and it's still monetized. So that's really cool because it's evergreen. And, you know, I have some videos that have a lot of views, so people are watching them. And if they're like me, I have certain videos that are my go-to for whatever I need at that moment, for anxiety or for just getting my mind off things. If my mind is racing, I need to listen to fast, aggressive sounds, loud, things like scratching, tapping, you know, crinkling, you know, just things that would normally keep people awake. That drowns out my thoughts for the most part, and it allows me to fall asleep. But if I'm anxious, I like to have some soothing talking. And I have discovered that I really can't find the kind of like guided relaxation type of ASMR videos that I would like. So I really want to get into creating that. Most of the like relaxation videos, if you look them up, like using words like guided relaxation or relaxing ASMR for sleep, it's so like by the book, you know. Relax. Close your eyes. I don't want that. I don't want to have to, like, you know, relax your right arm. I don't care for that kind of ASMR where it's like, relax. Close your eyes. And some of them don't even do it in a whispered voice, which I think is funny. It's like, lay down, close your eyes, and you are about to relax. Listen to my voice and do as I tell you. And it's like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. It's I would like somebody to just be like talking, but not telling me what to do, because all of a sudden now that becomes a job, and if I don't do it, then I feel like, okay, this isn't going to work for me because I'm not doing what this person says, especially like the deep breathing and things like that. I just want to breathe my way. I don't want to be told when to inhale and through nostrils and then exhale through my mouth. And I don't need that. It stresses me out. I would rather have somebody just, I hate when they say, this is, picture yourself in your favorite place. A place that relaxes you. I can't fucking think of anything. Everything I come up with has something stressful attached to it. Everything. So I hate that. I want somebody to just maybe, to just talk in a soothing voice and just talk about stuff. And not have instructions. I don't want to follow instructions while I'm trying to fall asleep or to relax. So that I'm very interested in. I always have been, and I know that, just because I dropped the ball on ASMR it has nothing to do with the fact that I have lost my, desire to do that, because to me it's like the most important thing I could ever do is keep that channel going. And I, sadly have let it go because I put other things first that don't make me as happy and don't bring me as much peace. Because the good thing about an ASMR channel for me is that it relaxes me just to create the ASMR. I wear headphones, hands off the wheel, and I have to wear headphones. I can't do earbuds. Hate earbuds. And I want my entire ear to be captured so that the sounds like vibrate so the sounds vibrate, and I just love it so much. So even creating the sounds relaxes me. And but I don't listen to my own. I don't know any ASMR artist who does. I cannot listen to my own. It's not relaxing at all. I have to listen to others. And once again, I will plug my favorite fast ASMR, one word. I absolutely love her content. Love it. And she's got so many different kinds of things that I can go to for whatever I need at the moment. I'm at the donation place waiting my turn. And yeah, you can see some flowery things here. It's a tree. The whole top of the tree is here on my seat, and then the base is in the back seat, just kitty corner. And I got a bunch of other stuff. I hope they take everything, especially this tree, because I'm tired of riding around with it. They took everything that I had. Glad about that. I didn't want to come home with that tree. And I talked too much, and the guy talked not at all. You know, it's funny because I pay attention to these things because I hate the way I am so much of the time. I'm very in tuned to what other people are saying or doing. And the guy said nothing. And not a hello, not thank you, nothing. Now, the only talking I did was because I know how they operate now. You put a whole bunch of stuff in a bin, and if they see something, like in my case, there was a bunch of artificial flowers. He took those right away and he put them like in a bin that's just for artificial flowers. So then I had a bag full of artificial flowers, a big bag, and I told him, these are all artificial flowers. Now, that's not the end of the world because I knew he could go put it in that bin. But, I kind of was doing it for like every single thing, and never once did he say anything, not like, oh, okay, or nothing. So it was the complete opposite. I talked too much, and he talked not at all. So in a way, we kind of make a good couple. As for ASMR, I am never going to bug you guys about going to watch my ASMR channel or to listen to my podcast because, it's not something that everybody enjoys. Some people hate it. I love it. If you enjoy ASMR, then by all means, go check out my channel. And, you can listen to my podcast. I don't have my podcast in the description box yet. I'm going to wait until I know what I'm doing a little bit. No clue really what direction my podcast will go in. I really would absolutely love to do a podcast about humans and just how different everyone is, and like all the things that bug me, because I know those same things bug others. And I would even love to talk to somebody else and find out what bugs you about people. I find it all very interesting. It can get stressful, but it's interesting to me. I overanalyze everything I say and do, and I overanalyze everything other people say and do. But, a podcast like that, it would take a lot of time. And I'm not good at just talking. I would have to have some kind of a script to follow, and I don't have time to write a script of what I want to say. So, but maybe with a podcast, now that I'm just starting that, maybe I'll get better at that. Maybe I'll feel like doing something like that. It's interesting to me. I love learning new things. I'm curious to see how this will play out for me. I don't see it as a monetization avenue for me at all. It's certainly not for a long time, other than the fact that I could promote my things when I'm, saying something on my podcast. And then that can bring money in that way. Enough about ASMR for right now. Enough about the podcast. What's next? I guess I can talk about my move a little tiny bit. I did talk to Derek about me wanting to get a U-Haul now because, I kept saying that I just want to pack this car, but then I thought one of the things I'm having the biggest struggle with are things like boxes of photos and boxes of slides and a projector, and then Derek wants those VHS tapes. He wants to at least go through them. If he doesn't happen to get here before I move, then I hate to just throw those away. So there's a lot of things that I'm stressed out about, and things especially that I haven't even looked at yet, like things in my mother's cedar chest and her closets and upstairs. That's where all the old stuff is upstairs. So I thought, oh, and then I like looked at my tables that I have. I think I talked about this before, but you know, I was just trying to figure out how much would it cost to replace these tables? Is it worth taking these tables, you know, and getting a U-Haul? And definitely it would be worth me getting a U-Haul. But then when Derek and I were talking about it, I was even stressed about the whole U-Haul thing, because there's a lot that needs to be, you know, to fall into place. Skylar will be in school. Derek will not come here on a school day because he's in charge of her for school, because that's what he wants. And so he doesn't want to drop the ball with that even a little bit. And it would have to be like a long weekend, which could be like Labor Day, but that's not enough time. And then to plan for his flight. What if his flight is delayed? Flights are horrible right now. They keep changing things. And then who the hell am I going to get to help him move stuff? And he's like, Ma, the stuff would have to already be in the U-Hauls, because I could come like on a Friday night and we'd have to leave Saturday so we can be back to Mississippi Sunday night. And I was like, who the hell am I going to get? And then I was like, I'd have to hire somebody to help me move. He's like, how about you just hire somebody to do the whole move? And I completely forgot about that option. It's an option that I was considering before, just hiring a mover. So now I have to make calls to start pricing that, and then I have to see, is it worth it? The other thing is, I hate to replace all my stuff because I hate so much to shop for all these things. I'm not one who can just go and say, oh, okay, I'll take that. No, I have to make sure I've got the best price in town. Is it going to be as sturdy as what I have? Is it going, you know, it's just, I make myself sick with all this stuff. And so it would be nice if I could bring the things that I have that I know work for me. And, you know, and I could bring my mother's hospital bed just in case something happens and she has to stay with me. She'd have a bed. I could bring her lift chair, assuming that she's already in a nursing home there, which I think would be best if she could be transferred before I am. And, you know, anyway, so, because I'd like to be here when she's you know, to make sure everything is done and pay the bills and all that stuff. So I would like for her to go first, and I have looked into a few things like that. It's still stressful because I still have to, you know, figure out, all right, movers come and take everything, and then when am I getting on a plane and moving? Now this means I have to get a ride from somebody. I don't have that kind of family. And I have no friends. I've never taken an Uber. I don't even know if there's an Uber around here that would take me to an airport. I would be petrified the entire time. So, see, there's a lot of stressful things for somebody like me. And I can't even believe that this could all happen and be done with, like, by the end of the year. And I'll be saying, how the fuck did I do all that shit? And I probably still won't be happy. Last night I was so sad about how I'm not going to like it there. I know I'm not. And it's funny that even though I'm happy staying in the house and just working, because I'm going to be a workaholic there too, for as long as I'm able to be a workaholic, there's still something about knowing that if I open the door and go outside, I'm in a very familiar place, you know, that I've been in for 60 years. So, you know, it's just never going to feel right. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, and, you know, Skylar and I wanted to do a video on that. She wanted to talk about it, but we just never had time to do a video with her. I'm so anxious to be there so I can help her better with that. Can't look at my phone. Maine is very strict. You can't even be like at a red light or a stop sign. You should never be on a phone in a car. That's my opinion. There's a high fine, a heavy fine. It was so bad. I can't remember how high it was, but they lowered it because people were like outraged. And to me, if you're looking at a phone, especially while you're driving, it should be automatic, lose your license for a year. That's how much I hate that people look at their phone while driving. I pull over. I pull over if I have to. But you know, I went my whole life, most of my life, never having a phone in my car. So, you know, the worst I did was like, you know, maybe like dig for change while driving, you know, so I could find a phone booth. Anyway, Skylar and I, one thing that I absolutely want to do, and she and I have talked about it, is when I'm there, I would like to do some volunteer work with her. I think it would be so cool to get her involved in that. Now, she loves animals, so her first thing was, I would like to do something to help the animals, and I thought that was an awesome idea. And I'd like to work crafts into that somehow, like find out what some animal shelters need on a regular basis. If it's like little blankies and, you know, things like that, that we could make some of those. It would give her content for her videos, and I just think that would be, you know, be really good. I'm also like really into wanting to, you know, help a food pantry or things like that, a soup kitchen. She did a soup kitchen with her father one time. I don't remember why they did that. It wasn't forced community service or anything. I think he had a friend, I don't know, somebody, they asked if he could help, and she was probably like 7 or 8, and he said she just loved it. They only did it once. But he said she was so into like cleaning the tables and then bringing things to people. And he said, you know, I'd love to continue to do this, but they never did. So I want to do something like that. And then she is also near the Memphis St. Jude Hospital in Memphis. And I thought, you know, maybe if I can ever get her into crocheting or knitting. She's not really into it, but if she had a purpose, I think she would be. And I've always wanted a knitting machine. Always. I can knit really fast, but I still think it would be cool to have a knitting machine. You know, it would be nice to do good for others, but it would also be good for her to get out there in the world and see these things and, you know, get to know what it feels like to actually help people, because I was never in that position to do such things. And, you know, I wish I could have grown up doing that, because I would have loved it. But, you know, I just never did anything like that. So I think it would be fun to do, and it would be cool to do that with her. I'm almost home, so I'm just going to say bye now. If you stuck around for this whole video, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know what I'll have for you next, but I will have something. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.